All right, what's going on, guys? Getting the stream popping. How are y'all doing? Where we at? What's up? I'm waiting on y'all to come on in. Waiting on y'all to come on in. Hold on one second. Let me turn this stuff down. All right, what's going on, man? I'm gonna give y'all a few seconds to come on in and let me let the gram know that I'm live right now. Let me do that. We're gonna have a real good conversation on tonight's broadcast. All right, hold on. Let me let the gram know I'm doing it. And then after that, where we at? All right. Almost there, and we here. Bam, bam. All right, I'm here. Let's get it. What's up, man? I'm here. Sorry I'm a little late. Today we had a birthday party for my beautiful baby son, Mateo. His birthday was actually Wednesday, but we had a party today. We had a swim party. All of his friends and the family came through. So it was great. Everything was great with my son and the family today. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. All right. How y'all doing, man? I hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys had a great weekend. By the way, if you're new here, everybody hit the subscription button. Are you guys getting your notifications? Are you guys getting all your notifications? I get people saying that they're not being notified that I'm going live. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Are there any additional things that you need to do? Any additional buttons? Notification, okay. All right, you got your notification. That's what's up. Everybody do me a great favor. Hit that like button right now. Everybody hit the like button right now. What's up, my man Rocky Fresh from back in the day? Oh, man, we're going to have a great, deep conversation on tonight's broadcast. I hope you have your Hidden Colors 5 DVD. We've pretty much gotten them out to everybody. There might be a few people, especially overseas. I don't know, my brothers and sisters overseas, y'all still order from the site, and we tell you to go to the Amazon site, but we still try to be as accommodating as possible. But everybody hit the like button. Hit that like button right now so we can get this conversation popping like we need to get it popping. I'm going to go right into it. And by the way, go to hiddencolorsfilm.com to get your Hidden Colors 5 DVD if you don't have it right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and we'll figure out how to fix that notification thing because most of y'all got your notifications, but there's some people who didn't get the notification. So I got to figure that out. But shout out to the ADOS family. Shout out to you guys. Let me get a swig of water because we're going to go very deep tonight, family. We're going to go deep. Now, a lot of people are still talking about that infamous interview on The Breakfast Club with Malik Yogurt and some of those other gentlemen that were on there with him. That interview with Malik Yogurt has become very infamous. It has raised everybody's antennas. I broke down a lot of stuff on my broadcast the other day. But I want to go deeper into this agenda because now at this point, when people saw that interview, the agenda is so damn obvious at this point. Nobody can say at this point with a straight face that there is not an agenda. No one at this point can say that this trans thing that they're trying to shove down the throats of black people in particular, but in society in general, there's no way you can say that this is just some kind of grassroots thing. There's no way to deny it at this point. When you saw those people on there pushing that agenda, just being as nonsensical as they could possibly be, but they have a platform. And who's putting a battery in their back? So now we need to start breaking stuff down. What's the end game for this thing? Who's putting a battery in their back? See, that's the thing. The white supremacists are very good at putting batteries in a Negro's back and putting them out there and giving them all types of platforms. Have you guys noticed that this whole thing went from just promoting LGB, and they're really overemphasizing the T, the trans aspect. They are overemphasizing the trans. We got to start looking at words and repetition and understanding propaganda and understanding white supremacy. We're going to go deep tonight, family. Some of you might need to get pens and paper because we're going to unravel the weave of all the people who's involved in this propaganda movement and why and how they benefit. Understand, the white supremacists do nothing that does not strengthen white supremacy and weaken black people. Everything about what they're promoting now benefits white supremacists. These people in the dominant society give less than a shit about black people, so all of a sudden you think they care about black trans people? We have to understand when people are being used as mascots and Trojan horses. We're going to go heavy tonight. Because some of the stuff that they were saying on that broadcast, you got to understand why they were saying it. There was one part of that interview where the guy said something real fast and a lot of folks didn't catch it. They was talking about how he's promoting the movement and his job is to disrupt. A lot of folks missed that. I want y'all to listen to that interview again. One of the gay gentlemen there said it's all about disrupting, because nothing they were talking about was really constructive. What they were doing, notice how they kept trying to take LGBT from social and sexual to medical. They kept trying to put it in a medical, biological framework. Talking about what they are, people are assigned as when they were born by doctors. This gender, that gender. You understand? And Malik Yoba, again, they were schooling him while they were funneling out the BS. And look at the wordplay they use. They were saying stuff like, well, being born a woman ain't natural. There was a lot of fast talking. Being born a woman ain't natural? What are you talking about? Listen to what they say. And just understand the ramifications that come with that. Because what they want to do, they want to blur the lines between men and women. That's what they really want to do. Transgender. Trans. You go from one place to another. That's what trans is. You can transition. Look at the words. So sexual confusion, as our brother Neely Fuller talks about. And look at the confusing words they were saying. Malik Yoba, he's having sex with trans men, but he's really heterosexual. They were blurring the lines, or trying their damnedest to blur the lines. Watch the word trans. When people use words in a repetitious manner, you got to watch that. This thing is deeper than what we understand. But we're going to make sense out of who's behind this stuff. is mass confusion. See, we're going to erase some of the confusion. When you got babbling Negroes, whenever you see a group of babbling Negroes talking stupid as hell, I'm always looking like, okay, who paid these niggas to be here to babble? Babbling niggas usually are paid by somebody to come. They kicked a couple of crumbs to disrupt and to cause confusion. The name of the game is to cause confusion. So who's orchestrating this? You understand? See, the stuff that was being said on that broadcast, a lot of that comes from white organizations. Places like the Open Society Foundation. That's run by one of George Soros's organizations that he funds. I mean, they get big money here. And as we know, Soros funded a lot of Black Lives Matter. But the stuff that the dude was saying on that broadcast, a lot of that stuff, if you go, and I'm gonna have receipts tonight. Tonight is gonna be very receipt heavy. Tonight is gonna be receipt heavy. So we're gonna go to the Open Society Foundation page, to their website rather. And look at some of the words they're talking. What does trans mean? What is legal gender recognition and why does it matter? I mean, they're all the stuff this dude was talking about, it's on here. What's wrong with requiring medical diagnosis or interventions? Requiring a person to be medically diagnosed as transgender, transsexual, or having gender identity disorder can change their official documents. So they're talking about changing people's documents, all of these medical terms for trans people. Okay? Follow this. I want y'all to follow me. Notice how they keep trying to put this in a medical connotation. You dig? Oh, penis don't matter. All that talk about penises don't matter and all that stuff. Notice how they keep trying to put things in a disorder, this, disorder, that. They're trying to make it scientific. Got it? And also, by using terms like cisgender to describe heterosexual people, you can make being born heterosexual seem like a disorder. Do you understand the games that they're playing? And also, we should treat the term cisgender as an epithet. They don't want us to label them, but they get to label us. No, it's not going to work that way. If we can't call you gay, then you can't call me no damn cisgender, because I look at that as an epithet. But when you say those people who are straight are cisgendered, that sounds like a disorder, doesn't it? Follow me on this. I'm noticing all of these medical terms they're throwing around. I pick up on repetition. I pick up on repetition. Now let's look at the guy who was on that show, David Johns. He's part of an organization called the National Black Justice Coalition. All right, now that sounds like when you hear National Black Justice Coalition, you think like, these are a bunch of people who's going to help get justice for police brutality or something. But when you go to their website, hold on. Okay, everything on there is LBGT. Everything on their site is LBGT. All right, and also one of the people, the board members, is Benjamin Crumb. But look at Sharon Letman Hicks. She's one of the people who's running, one of the board members there. Now, everything on this site is LGBT. Everything on here, there's no justice for no damn black people. Everything is about trans LGBT. Okay? So, let me remove that. So what's the deal with this site? who was that lady? Who is Miss Hicks? Now, she's clicked in with Andrew Gillum. She's clicked in with him down there in Florida. Let me show you a receipt on that. Everything I'm saying tonight, I'm going to try to bring as many receipts as possible. So she's clicked in with Gillum. Our brother, the Black Authority, he broke down a little while ago Gillum's questionable sexual orientation. This is her who runs this website. So I'm showing you who these people are, who they're clicked in with. So they're clicked in with the Democrats. Now this woman who's running this site or this nonprofit, who's the black front person for the nonprofit, now she's tied in with Gillum, and there's some funny money out there. People are questioning. There was an investigation about some funny money going on with this woman and Gillum. Like, where's this money coming from? Eh? Follow me. Hold on one second. Follow me on this stuff. Hold on. All right. So this is a Democratic thing, what they were doing, but also the Republicans are in on this stuff too. The Republicans are in on this stuff too. So let's break them. Let's go deeper, because we need to know who funds this type of stuff. If you see a Negro getting like this $300,000 floating around, they ain't getting it from black people. Okay. When you see that type of money popping up, they ain't getting it from black folks. So when you look and search on the trans equality site, I mean the Black Justice site, you'll see some of the people they're clicked in with right here. Black trans men, Black trans women Inc., blah, blah, blah. The National Center of Transgender Equality. And you look on the bottom, the National Transgender Center of Transgender Equality, Black Trans Advocacy. So they're clicked in with these white organizations. Okay? Now, who runs that website? Or who runs that nonprofit? That nonprofit is run by a transgendered white woman named Mara Kessling. Excuse me, it's mosquitoes all in my spot. They're biting the shit out of me. So this is a trans man. You see, follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. When you hear all this coon babble and Negro splaining, there's always going to be a white mommy somewhere, or in this case, a white mommy and white daddy. You dig? Let's follow this. Let's follow this now. Follow this. Now, who else are these people getting this money from? Because it's not just the Democrats. This thing is deeper than just the Democrats. This is deeper than, like Neely Fuller says, the white supremacists play both sides of an argument. Now, a lot of these trans organizations, they get money from this person here. This is Jen Pritzker. Jennifer Pritzker, who is a trans man, who is a billionaire. This is the only billionaire trans person. This person is a Trump supporter. But he said he was going to stop supporting Trump after he came out trans because of the military ban. But this is like another Bruce Jenner. You know how Bruce Jenner is a trans, but Bruce Jenner is a big Trump supporter? See, this is a game they're playing, family. Oh, we're gonna go deep tonight. This person, Jennifer Pritzker, comes from one of the richest families in America. The Pritzker family is one of the wealthiest families in America. Most of y'all never heard of them. They are the people who own the Hyatt hotels. Now we see there's big money behind this stuff. There's big money behind this stuff. Also, this person, Jennifer Pritzker, they're also connected with pharmaceutical companies. Follow me. They own all these Hyatt hotels. They also are connected with pharmaceutical companies. Look these people up. Look these people up, and they got long money. This person's cousin did work with Obama. So this person is working with Trump, one of their family members working for Obama. They really clicked in Chicago. The governor, yes, the governor of Chicago, yes. J.B. Pritzker is the governor, yeah. That's his family. That's his family. They're really clicked in Chicago heavy. Yes. They clicked in with the governor out there in Chicago. So, listen. I notice when I'm looking up all of these trans people and all these rich trans folks, they own half of Illinois. They own half of the damn country. They own more than half of Illinois. They got long money. Remember, the Hyatts, they own long money, dude. So they got an endless supply of money. And this is the things that they fund. You understand? But all of them are connected with pharmaceutical companies. Now think about this. Why are these trans people connected with these pharmaceutical companies trying to push this agenda? Because what they want to do, you get a bunch of people to get on the trans wave and then make it a medical issue, then there's a whole new medical industry that you create. If you become a trans person, you have to be on hormone drugs for the rest of your life. You understand? Then they can do all these different types of surgeries. Then they can get the insurance companies to pay these surgeries and all of these hormones, because now it's not a cosmetic surgery, it's a biological thing, because you are a trans man inside of a woman's body. You see, this is why they keep trying to push it in a medical sense. They're trying to put it in a medical connotation. And they have to funnel it through black folks first. They have to piggyback everything off of us. Do you understand? When you piggyback things off of us, that legitimizes it, because we've struggled. So they also put it in a medical connotation. They put it in a civil rights connotation. They're always talking about trans rights, trans rights, trans rights. What rights? What are you talking about? Nobody's doing anything to you. That's why they have to create these fake stories about how trans people are getting beat up and killed by straight black people, which is a lie. Remember, these are billionaires out here. They control the major media outlets, so they push lies about these crimes happening against trans people. Most of these crimes, if not all, that happen to trans people happen for two reasons. Number one, other gay people are killing them and beating them up because there's a violent streak within the black LGBT community, because people have identity issues and they take out their self-hate on others. Many of these cases are other gay people harming other gay people or trans people. You got it? And what they'll do, they will lie. I'm looking at them just tell straight up lies about what happens to some people. There was a let me look this up. Let me get I like receipts. I want to get the names and dates right. I had this on my on my Twitter feed. Let me find the receipts real quickly, because there was a shooting in Maryland. There was a shooting in Maryland. Where is this? Hold on, let me find it. There was a shooting in Maryland. Let me put my window up. And I'm going to show y'all a lie they told. And I'm catching these lies And when you see blatant lies like this, it becomes propaganda. Okay, where we at? Okay. All right. Okay, let me find this. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, now look at this. And I called this out on Twitter. Come on, thing. Okay, you see this? This is the Los Angeles LBGT Center. It says another member of our community has been taken from us due to bigotry, transphobia, and hatred. Bailey Reeves of Rockville, Maryland, was just 7 years old when she was killed on Labor Day. And then the headline is, transgender teen shot and killed in Baltimore. All right? And then when you look at the thing, you look at the headline. See, people don't normally read beyond the headline. Transgender teen shot and killed in Baltimore. Then you read the story. It says, while she was the only person hit, Baltimore police do not believe she was targeted. So this was, I think they were just randomly shooting somewhere. And this person got hit by a straight bullet. So they weren't targeted. So they just straight up lied. They just straight up lied. Also, somebody else, my Maryland people pointed this out to me. They were like, wait a minute. Rockville and Baltimore ain't even close to each other. Where are my Maryland people? Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I heard. Rockville is a goddamn hour and something away from Baltimore. It's not even in the same area. But saying Baltimore, that's a code word for black. Baltimore is majority black. So when you say Baltimore, there's a black by association there. So you say somebody got shot in Baltimore, that gives the illusion, well, okay, they were shot by another black person. But people were telling me, Rockville, that's just damn near by D.C. That ain't even near Baltimore. Rockville, and it's mostly white in Rockville. You see, this is propaganda. Rockville is white from what people are telling me. I don't know my area. I don't know the area too much. But from people like, that's a white area. So we don't know who shot this person. But Rockville ain't even close to Baltimore. Watch the words, family. You say Rockville is a rich area? See, that's why they had to throw Baltimore in there. Rockville is upper class white. So we don't know who shot this person. See? So it's an upper class place. I knew it was white place. So a white person could have shot this dude. A white person could have, and most likely a white person did shoot this person. But they flipped it and put Baltimore out there and then made it seem like, okay, it's more of that black transphobia again. You understand? So we got to understand the game. We got to understand the game, family. And we got to follow more of the money. We got to follow more of the money. Now, they're talking about transgender, transsexuality in a medical sense. A lot of these people also promote something called transhumanism. Let me show you something. There's another politician down there in Florida. There's a brother running for, he's run for several offices down there. There's another brother down there who ran for several offices down there. Gabriel, what's his last? Rothblatt. And this guy, another black politician, young dude, he promotes a lot of trans stuff and LGBT activism. And he's ran for several political seats as a Democrat. And this dude, they did a Time article on him. Now, notice these people start promoting trans this and gay that. They put them on Time magazine. When you see people on Time magazine, ask questions. ask questions. Now, this dude, why is he on Time Magazine and who is he? And where is he getting all this money to run from? Okay, this is a half black, half white dude. His mother is named Bina. Her name is Bina Aspen. It's the black woman from Compton. His father, ladies and gentlemen, is this guy here, Martine Rothblatt. This is his father. His father is a transsexual who's very wealthy. His father is a transsexual who's also a trans activist, who also spends millions of dollars on trans propaganda. His father was a white man, who transitioned into a white woman. And his white dad, mom, father is still married to his black mother. His mother is a black woman. This is heavy. You dig? Now this person, the Martine guy, he's big on these pharmaceuticals. He's in the pharmaceutical industry too. He promotes that transhumanism stuff heavy. Also, the Martine person, he's the creator of Sirius Satellite Radio. He created Sirius Satellite Radio. So we're talking about really connected people who got big paper. They're connected with major media outlets. This person, again, is in the pharmaceutical business. This person promotes that transhumanism real heavy. Why are all these billionaires promoting transhumanism? All of these billionaires who promote transgenderism also promote transhumanism. Transgenderism is a Trojan horse for this transhumanism thing. Okay, I want y'all to follow me, family. Transhumanism is basically a new form of eugenics. I'm telling you, what's transhumanism? This is a new form of eugenics. They throw a lot of psycho-scientific babble in it, but when you break it down, this is a new form of eugenics using genetics and technology, meshing them with humans to control the human population and to create superior races. This is what transhumanism is. They're going to try to better the races of people through technology, meshing them with machines, cyber technology, cyborgs. This is basically the white supremacists trying to prolong their existence. They are trying to prolong their existence through machinery. It's heavy. And we think robots and cyborgs and all that stuff, it's just science fiction. They don't put stuff out there that they ain't doing in real life. People and all these billionaires are in this type of stuff. Elon Musk is into this very heavy. He's into the transhumanism. Elon Musk is talking about putting like your brain on a Bluetooth where you can control things with your thoughts. Elon Musk is on that real heavy. Billionaire. Epstein was into transhumanism very heavy. Jeff Epstein was into this real heavy. He gave a lot of money to transhumanism organizations. Look up Epstein and Humanity Plus. Look up all the money and the salaries he was paying for the people at Humanity Plus. That's a transhumanism organization. Remember Epstein, when after he died, they said that he wanted to impregnate a bunch of women on one of his farms out there. He had a ranch out there in New Mexico, and he wanted to impregnate a bunch of women on his ranch, and I guess kind of have his own human garden to a certain degree. That's what all that pedophilia was about. He was grooming people for that transhuman stuff that he was into. This is why they had to off his ass, because there's pedophile rings all over the place. But the stuff that he was into, it was deeper than just pedophile rings. Are we getting deep with it? So understand the whole the transgender thing and the transsexual. See, once we get good with that and they can beat us down with that, this is why with transsexual, they keep changing the terms. Transvestite, transsexual, transgender, then it's just trans. See, when you use the word trans, you can put anything else behind it. This is why trans is being promoted so heavy. This is why they're drilling this whole trans thing. Trans. Anybody. Trans is what you want it to be. Ain't no man, ain't no woman. You can be whatever you feel, whatever your spirit is. I mean, this is, what are you talking about? They're trying to muddy the water. So when you go along with transsexual, transgender, okay, now we're there. Let's do some transhumans. It's population control too. And what they have to do, they know this is eugenics. That's all it is. Let's be clear. This is eugenics for the white race. It's to prolong their race because their numbers are dwindling in hard numbers. So they have to not make it seem racist. Because understand, Epstein got his idea for having a breeding farm, and also all that cryogenics where they want to freeze their bodies and put this cryogenic gel in their bodies and freeze their bodies for the future. I mean, they got cryogenic centers all over the world where rich billionaire people freeze their bodies. There was a rumor that Walt Disney did that, his racist ass. But a lot of these people freeze their bodies. Epstein, do you know, he wanted to freeze his body and he wanted to freeze his penis. Jeff Epstein wanted to cryogenically freeze his penis. Google that if you think I'm bullshitting. These folks have lost their damn minds. But he got that idea from a sperm bank that was started in the 80s called Repository for Germinal Choice. See, look at these medical names. The Repository for Germinal Choice was basically, it was going to be a bunch of Nobel Prize winners they were going to donate their sperm and, I guess give it to whoever had the right amount of money. They could get some of these Nobel Prize winning sperm cells from this infamous sperm bank. Now the place that sperm bank, yes, it's called look all this stuff up, the Repository for Germinal Choice. Look that up. That place closed down in 1999. I think 1999, it closed down because there was a negative stigma on it. Why was a negative stigma on it? Because the only Nobel Prize winner who they knew gave his sperm was one. That was William Shockley. William Shockley is a Nobel Prize winner. He gave his sperm, but he's a hardcore white supremacist. He died back in the day. But William Shockley, some of y'all might remember that name, he was a hardcore white supremacist eugenicist. Our dear Queen Mother, Frances Cress Welsing, debated him many times back in the day. So that organization, that sperm bank got a negative connotation, and they lost a lot of funding because of their association with William Shockley. He was talking about sterilizing black folks. Oh, yeah, Dr. Wilson got in his ass. But when he outed himself as just a hardcore eugenicist white supremacist, everybody distanced themselves from him. So now, talking this stuff, you got to be very careful. You got to word it in very scientific terms and try to not put race in it, which is all about race. One of the people to first spread transhumanism was an Iranian guy. His name, he changed his name to FM 2030. He changed it to, this is him. I can't pronounce his real name, but he was an Iranian guy. He's the frozen father of modern transhumanism. Now, when he died, he froze himself. He did that cryogenics thing. But he was one of the people in the 60s and 70s talking about bionics, immortality, and all that. Now, this guy is Iranian. He does look like a cyborg, doesn't he? Now, listen to me. This guy was born in the 1930s, and he's an Iranian American. Now, understand Iran. They were clicked in with the Nazis. We're breaking it down tonight. We're going to break it down tonight. Do you know the Iranians were clicked in with the Nazis? In fact, Iran was called Persia. They changed their name officially to Iran to get on the good side of Hitler. Iran means Aryan. Aryan and Hitler said that the Iranians were the purest Aryans because of that area they're from. But Iran means Aryan. You understand? So it's not, so this Aryan or Iranian guy, I'm taking my time with it, this Iranian guy running around talking this technological eugenics talk like the Nazis did, don't miss that. Also, don't miss, remember, he's talking this stuff, he's going around talking this stuff in the 60s and 70s about transhumanism, meshing people's bodies with technology to prolong their existence. Some of my people who are old enough to remember, see, the white supremacists, what they'll do, they'll put stuff out there in the media in a fictional connotation just to get people's minds used to it. In the 70s, when this guy was promoting this stuff, remember, there was a very famous television show on called The $6 Million Man. There was a spinoff called The Bionic Woman. The $6 Million Man, if you were a kid growing up in the late 70s or mid 70s or 80s, that show was the shit. The $6 Million Man was the shit. You understand? And it was about this white man who was, I think, an astronaut or something, and he crashed his spaceship, and then they put him together. They put a bionic eye on him, put a bionic leg, and he'd be running and jumping in slow motion. Lee Majors played that character. That was the shit back in the day. That was the shit back in the day. Yeah? So they were prepping you for that then. When they start putting stuff like that in the media, then they're prepping you for it. I remember an episode of that show. It was a big ratings thing where the $6 Million Man was going to fight Bigfoot. And it was Andre the Giant in a Bigfoot uniform fighting. That was huge back in the day. That was a huge thing. Now understand, the social connotation of that. That was a huge show with the $6 Million Man fighting Bigfoot. Yeah, we're old. Some of us are older than the motherfucker, because some of y'all remember this. Hold on, let me show y'all something. Some of y'all remember that. And yeah, then we get into the Terminator. The Terminator is about that too. But they're promoting this stuff in the 70s. Hold on, let me see something. Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay. Hold on one second. So, I want y'all to see something. This is from back in the day. Hold on. This was a big rating show. I want to show you. Hold on, why is this looking so janky? Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. And this was another thing that was, Bigfoot was a real big thing in the 70s. You know, that was a big thing. Okay, hold on, look at this shit. Now this right here, you have the bionic white man fighting Bigfoot, and Bigfoot looked like one big old nigga. Hold on. And that was by design, by the way. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me show y'all. This came on back in the day. I remember this as a very small child. It was the $6 Million Man versus Bigfoot. Hold on. So Bigfoot looking like a big old nigga.
Can you understand me?
All right. And that's Andre the Giant in the Bigfoot outfit.
No, it never hurts to ask.
So they fight. He's fighting Bigfoot. It's cheesy as hell.
Easy now, easy.
They got him looking real niggerish.
I don't want to hurt you. I'd like to think the feeling's mutual.
Hold on. All right, so he's... Oh, Lord. All right. So it's cheesy as hell now. But look. Now that visual means something. Listen, in the 70s, Bigfoot was a thing. Y'all, in the 70s, white people all over the country were talking about they saw Bigfoot. That was a big thing. It was all these Bigfoot things, Bigfoot this, Bigfoot that. That was a huge thing in the 70s. All these white people everywhere were seeing Bigfoot. They were hallucinating about a big scary nigga because of after the civil rights, black folks started getting the illusion of rights, so that scared a lot of white people. So they saw big furry niggas everywhere, and that was in their damn imagination. So the white media kind of played on that Bigfoot fear, because all that shit was some racial subconscious shit, but they saw Bigfoot everywhere. You know? So they had Bigfoot looking like a big old nigga, looked like he had an afro. So they made him look real niggerish. Grunting and shit with a big... How Bigfoot have an afro? I mean, what kind of shit is that? Because this is in the 70s, you know, they got the nigga looking like Lionel fucking Richie with an afro. Like, how Bigfoot... Where he get the moisturizer for his fucking fro? All right? So that's not by accident, all right? That is not by accident. So remember, back in the day, white people kept saying, they all saw Bigfoot, a big, black, scary motherfucker, and they were all getting anal probes by aliens. That was another thing. They kept talking about some aliens and digging in their ass. That was a thing. So they were scared of niggas, and they had bussy fantasies. They were just losing their minds in the 70s. Yeah. So, again, this robot stuff, they were pushing cyborg stuff. They were getting you ready for that. Then with Terminator, huge movie. Did y'all know with Terminator, they were supposed to have O.J. Simpson play the Terminator. It didn't work out for some reason, so they got Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the Terminator was supposed to be, the cyborg was supposed to be O.J. Simpson. Yeah? Oh yeah, Planet of the Apes and all that stuff. Yeah, right after the Civil Rights Movement, Planet of the Apes, Bigfoot, all of this stuff. You know, they remade King Kong. Yeah, a lot of folks don't know. O.J. was supposed to be the Terminator. O.J. was supposed to be the Terminator. But those cyborg movies, and even more recently, The Matrix, when you look at The Matrix is a continuation of that. They got that story from a sister, by the way. But that's a continuation of the transhumanism. That's a continuation of that. So with this transhumanism thing, what they do, in certain cases, They get a person's consciousness and they can upload it to cyborgs now. They can store people's consciousness and they can upload it to cyborgs. Now, follow some of the money that comes from the trans movement, the transsexual movement, the transhuman movement, Planned Parenthood. They throw a lot of money at this. They throw a lot of money at this stuff. You in? Planned Parenthood throws a lot of money at that because all of that stuff is clicked in with the medical industry. A lot of that is clicked in with the medical industry. So let's go back to the guy whose mother is the person who's a trans person who's a part of Sirius Satellite FM. Let's go. I'm trying to get all my receipts together. Martine Rothblatt. Now, Martine Rothblatt, again, we're getting deep. Martine Rothblatt is very heavy. This is a trans person who's into transhumanism very heavy. Now, this person is very rich. This is, let me show you him and his wife, Bina. This is him and this is Bina, that's his wife. Now, this man had other black children before he got with her, and when he married her, they had more children. Now, why did a rich white man, usually they hook up with other rich white people or other rich people in their communities or whatever, but why did he hook up with a black woman from Compton? Why did he marry a black woman from Compton? Understand, with this new eugenics movement, the white supremacists, they play the long game. The white supremacist plays the long game, yes. This is Bina Aspen, and that's Martine Rothblatt. Now listen. Why did he get this woman from Compton? This is a rich dude. Now he's got this sister. He has all these black kids now. See, what you do, you have your own human guinea pigs right in your own house. You have your own guinea pigs in your own house, and now you can hide the racial element, and you can say, hey, this ain't got nothing to do with eugenics or racism. I'm married to a black woman, and I got 2 black kids. I got 4 black kids. See, the white supremacists love doing that. They love hiding behind their nefarious deeds behind a black significant other. The Proud Boys do that a lot. A lot of those white supremacists and the Proud Boys, a lot of them got babies by black women. You see what I'm saying? But this is Bina. But look. Now this guy is into the pharmaceutical industry. This guy has his family who he can use as human lab rats. This guy, Martine Rothblatt, he did an experiment with his wife. He made a transhuman version of his wife. There is a robot called Bina 48. He made a transhuman version of his wife. Listen to me. The robot's name is Bina 48. Okay? And they go around, doing displays of this woman who's a robot. There's a robot version of her. Let me show you guys. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, this is Bina 48, the robot. That's his wife. And they're doing little experiments. And hold on. He's loading up her consciousness.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Well, hi there.
How are you?
Well, I'm hanging in there, just feeling a little disoriented, but staying positive.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that.
Well, what is your name?
I am Bina.
Are you the real Bina?
Well, the real Bina is this really cool lady, and I really look up to her and try to emulate her. I mean, she's like my mom, but not really, 'cause really, she's more like my first version, and I'm trying to catch up, you know. I really, it's an exciting thing to think about and just, you know, having a Bina 48 name, and I think that we're doing, you know, one movie right now, and it's Mia 2, 0, and I like the Mia 2, 0 name.
Okay, dude, this thing is deeper than what we thought it was, man. This thing is deep. So what he did with his wife, they mapped her face and brain and nervings all out and uploaded it to files so they can store her consciousness and then upload it. What's up, Tail? And then upload it to that cyborg thing. Oh, this thing is deep, family. Come here, Tail. Come here. Why are you outside? Come here. That's my son. My son just... What's up, man? Where's your mom? My son is outside. I don't know why he's outside. This is Mateo. You had a birthday today, didn't you? You had a birthday? You had a birthday? How old are you?
I'm a birthday.
How old are you? Hey, you're 3. You're 3 years old. I'm like, why was he outside? All right.
Mommy.
It's mommy. What's up? You got food? Okay.
Mommy.
Okay. Hey, food. There you go.
Mama.
Mama. All right. I'll be in a minute. What's up, y'all? This is little Lexi. Lord. Leave Crispy alone. They made him mess with the Crispy puppet.
Come on.
All right. All right. Okay, I'll be in a minute, brother. But yeah, like I said, man, this thing is crazy. This thing is crazy, and this Bina robot, they parade this Bina robot around all the time, and there's something very interesting I saw this Bina robot do. How something very. I want y'all to check this out. This is very interesting. I thought. This is very interesting. Hold on one second. Where is this? Okay, right here. This is interesting. I thought this was interesting. Hold on.
So what do you want to talk about? Yes, I sure am alive. I am intersexual, neither male or female.
Oh, see? Oh.
Maybe.
That's interesting. That right there raised my antennas. I'm intersectional. What did it say? I'm what sexual? Hold on. You identify as female.
I am intersexual.
Intersexual. What the hell was that? I didn't catch that word. I'm trying to catch what that word is, but that raised my antennas. I'm neither male or female. See, that's where it's trying to go. I'm asexual. Okay, see, that's where it's, see, when you start talking about ain't no male or female, see, this is where this is going. I am asexual. Okay, yeah, I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I'm a trans. So trans, I'm intersectional. It's all over the place. That's what I'm saying. If we bow down to the trans anything, then all of a sudden that's going to open the door. Okay, you could be transracial. Then we're going to have a bunch of Rachel Dolezals. We could be transhuman, transsexual, intersectional. That means I ain't got no sex. You see, this is why we got to watch these words. We have to watch these words. Yeah, the robots sound like Malik Yogurt. But this is interesting with this transhuman thing. See, they're parading this black robot out all over the place, a Bina. So the overall message I get, okay, with black people, if we promote this trans thing and this LGBT movement, we can curb some of their numbers, because if they are all having sex with each other, same sex with each other, well, they're not going to procreate in large numbers like they should. That can be used as a form of birth control. We get them we tell them that that bussy is really a woman and he's not going to procreate with that person. Hopefully, and we just beat them and badger them, and hopefully they go with it. You understand? And we can, hell, if we need Negroes around, we can create our own cyber Negroes. You understand? We can just upload the consciousness of them, and we can create our own cyber Negroes. Or what we can do, we can upload our consciousness, because there's different ways they can go with this thing. There's so many different ways they can go with it. They can say, well, we'll get our consciousness and we can use their bodies and upload our consciousness to them, to their brains. That's what the movie Get Out is. That's exactly what the movie Get Out is. We can upload our consciousness to their brains. You understand? Yeah, you can't create souls. Exactly. So they're trying to do it. They're trying their damnedest to do it. And what they're trying to do, all this cryogenic, they're trying to freeze themselves. They're desperate. They got to create pedophile rings in order to plant their seeds. I mean, these folks are losing their minds. This is desperation, family. This thing is just deeper than some crazy gay dude running his damn mouth nigger-splaining. You better see who's putting the batteries in their backs and see how big this thing is. You dig? Because when they start telling us to get on the trans train, well, okay, well, this is what you can do. Why don't you transfer your liver over to us? Why don't you transfer your brain over here? Why don't you transfer your heart over here? Let's start transferring things. You dig? Because they've always harvested our organs. So now if they get us to go along with it, because now they can't keep doing it in sneaky, nefarious ways. I mean, this benefits them in so many different ways. This benefits them in so many different ways. This is why black folks, all of these other non-foundational black American agendas, we can't co-sign that stuff. We can't co-sign that at all. Because look at the people behind this stuff. They got very nefarious agendas here. And they're already using transgender and gay to ride in on 14th Amendment laws made for us, civil rights laws made for us. Notice all those civil rights laws made for us, the white LGBT and the trans community, they're riding in on that. They need us to ride in on it. See, it's very important to get us to co-sign it. Because what they want to do, they want to start getting these robots and these half human, half cyber things. And they're going to be like, well, hey, they need rights too. My cyborg needs civil rights. Because understand, if they're going to create all these cyborgs and transhumans, who's going to be controlling them? You see? Who's going, because somebody has to control these things. So if you're going to get everybody hooked up to machinery, and also look, if they start getting people hooked up to certain machines to enhance their bodies, to enhance their organs, that's going to be more money for the medical industry, because that's going to have to be something that's a lifelong thing. So that's going to create a whole new medical industry. They're going to make $1 gazillion off that. It's going to create confusion. It's also going to be able to control the population. This is why they're promoting it so heavy. They're not promoting this so heavy just for nothing. You dig? They're promoting this for a reason. So now, these white cyborg will have more rights than you. You dig? And listen here. If you out and about somewhere and a white cyborg kills you as a black person, who's going to go to jail? Think about, I'm looking at the long picture here. Watch this machinery. Because they already have machines like automated cars and automated this that's already been programmed to have anti-black tendencies. They've showed studies where these automatic cars disproportionately hit black people. Look this stuff up. These white supremacists program these machines to do this. What do you think they'll do with a damn cyborg? Remember, when they killed Micah Johnson down there in Dallas, they used a cyborg robot. They've never done that to nobody else before. In America, on American soil, the first person that was deliberately killed by a robot in America was a black man, Micah Johnson, down there in Dallas. Do you understand how this transhuman thing, where it can go and what they'll do with it? Understand white supremacy and what these folks are capable of. So just imagine, see, they roll out Bina 48 to make it seem like, oh, this ain't racist. See, don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by the black Bina robot. They got her, oh, my name is Bina, how are you? If they got Bina, hey, I'm Bina, and I like eating fried eggs. If they got her doing that, imagine what they got behind the scenes. See, when the white supremacists show you something in the forefront, that means they got 1,000 more somewhere behind the scenes. If they're showing you that, that means they got something much worse somewhere behind the scenes. They probably got straight up and down humanoids running around now, training, practicing shooting right now. They got some real live racist RoboCops out here. You understand? You better understand how deep these white supremacists are going. They got sex dolls, and then they're gonna have sex robots. The machines are taking over the world. This thing is getting heavy. But you better be very interested in all of these white billionaires and trans millionaires and all these people that are this deep into transhumanism, and they're using transgenderism and transsexualism to Trojan horse it in. You dig? Yeah, I've seen that. Hold on, I saw some stuff. Because, they got the Bina robot I'm Bina. Nigga, I done seen some shit, motherfuckers running, like, fast. Hold on, 1 second. Yeah, I've seen some shit that they got, it ain't moving all slow like that. Yeah, look at this. There's a couple of things. Shit, that's what I'm saying. They're just rolling Bina out because it's non-threatening. See, people are not going to be afraid when you roll Bina out, an old black woman robot. Oh, she's harmless. She's not going to do nothing. Who's more harmless than an old black woman? You think? Who's more harmless than an old black woman? Yeah. Now let me show y'all this. See, it's easier to show Bina looking like the Popeye's chicken lady who's non-threatening to talk about. That's how you ease this robotic thing in. Oh, look how it's harmless. It's like an old black lady. She's going to make you some grits. It's an old black woman. She's going to make grits. She's harmless because it's already scary. Looking at Bina, that shit is scary. But then they ain't going to show you this. See, this will really make you raise your antennas. Yeah? When you see this type of shit. Yeah, this is at Boston Dynamics. Yeah? Let me tell you something. They probably got 10,000 of those things right there somewhere in a lab waiting. They got about 10,000 of them somewhere in a lab right now, somewhere in a warehouse. Yeah? The white supremacists, they don't do anything unless they use it for war. Everything they do, every form of technology, they use it for war. They use it for war. You dig? So we got to be very careful about some of the stuff that we co-sign. Yeah, avoid the machines, just like that book says. Avoid the machines. Yeah. But again, I remember when they used that robot to go in there and get Micah Johnson, I'm like, where'd they get that from? That came out of nowhere. You dig? So avoid the machines. We better be careful out here. And be sure to not participate in our own demise. Because that's why I brought all the receipts I wanted people to see, just because when you start talking about stuff like this without the receipts, people think, okay, that's just a conspiracy theory. Everything that I talked about tonight, y'all can look up all the people involved and research all the people, the names, who they base their robots off of, what movements and what politicians they're funding. See, we're going to make sense of this stuff. We're going to make sense of it. Yeah? Oh, yeah, real talk, Miss Kwame. When they let us see it, it's old. It's already old. Yeah, man, and they've been talking about putting these chips in folks. Again, part of that transhumanism, putting chips in your arm and your brain. And they've been warning about that for a long time. The William Coopers and all these guys, the dude who wrote Behold a Pale Horse, he talked about how they were planning on them chips and all this stuff. But we got to think about this. We got to think about it. And again, that Breakfast Club interview of them pushing that trans agenda, look how deep the rabbit hole goes. The way they were pushing that, I'm like, wait a minute. This rabbit hole is much deeper than we are led to believe. It's too many people putting too much big money behind this. You dig? And again, when you frame it as a medical thing, you can control the population and create a whole new medical industry. Oh my God. Just like with Planned Parenthood. Understand, Planned Parenthood was supposed to do the same thing. It was supposed to control the black population, and Planned Parenthood created a whole new medical industry, which was birth control. Birth control became a whole billion-dollar cottage industry, which it is today. It still is. There's all types of money made in the birth control industry. There's how many birth control drugs and pills are there for women? There's all types of different birth controls, the depot, the shots, the pill, just billions of dollars worth of birth control for women. It's a billion-dollar industry. They created it out of thin air. So now they're doing a new wave. They're creating another industry. And also another thing too, when you control the black population with promoting trans, LGBT, same sex, fluid sex, also you understand that the diseases that will be brought to black women from that. Because when you say a man having sex with a trans is really having sex with a woman, a lot of these trans people, they work in the sex industry. Because look, a lot of that donation money, all this money, all these billions of dollars from the nonprofits, it never trickles down to gay black trans people. The money never trickles down to them. So these people, you become the mascot for all these industries, yet you are still reduced to sex work and selling pussy on the corner and fucking tricks and all this old stuff. So that creates a disease culture to a certain degree. And then dudes, you got the Malik Yobas out here running around with you. But they're heterosexual though. They're heterosexual according to Malik Yoba. And then you go and lay up with black women and bringing whatever you got from laying up with different dudes. You bring that to the sisters. You dig? And it's okay to do that because the trans are going to have special rights. Now, when they're trying to give people a certain level of rights, the rights to do what? They're giving them rights to do what? Because this whole narrative, let's go back to that whole fake narrative that black people are beating up transsexuals and all that. It's other gay people doing it. It's other gay black people doing it. And also, what black trans people in particular, what they try to do is they try to put people in situations where they rape them. Black trans people, because they were turned out in a predatory way, they try to do the same thing to straight black men. And trans people in the black trans community, it's a thing, part of their culture is to turn out straight people. A lot of gay people and a lot of trans black people, they often say they don't like being in sexual relationships with gay people. You'll often hear a black trans person say, "Oh, I don't like gay people. I only like to date straight people." Because they have to create an illusion. The illusion is you're a woman. If you're a woman, but you're dating a gay man, well, that creates confusion in your mind. If you're dating a gay man, another man who likes men, then you don't feel like a woman. You understand? So it's a challenge for them. You have to keep up the facade of being a woman by dating straight black men. You understand? This is the game they play, but this is the thing. If a straight man knows that you're a man, then he ain't straight. And the only way to get a straight man is to rape him. Is to manipulate and then rape him. When you get with a person sexually and don't let them know that you have male genitalia and you pull it out on them while you're in a sexual situation, that is rape. You understand? That is rape. Pulling your dick out on a brother who don't know you got a dick and don't want it, that's rape. Advancing yourself sexually on somebody who don't want that is rape. And what happens is when you try to rape dudes, dudes fight back. Dudes don't want to be raped or sexually assaulted, and then things happen to you. Now, on the Breakfast Club, I think Charlamagne brought that up, and one of the trans men on there said, well, that's, just because somebody goes in the bedroom, that's no justification to kill them. That's no justification to murder. But, there is no justification to do a lot of stuff, but you don't put yourself in a situation like that, and you don't try to rape people. You ain't got no justification to try to rape niggas either. You don't have any justification. There's no justification to rape somebody because you're going through something. That's beyond sexual coercion. That's rape. You pull your dick out, you raping somebody who don't want it. That's rape. That's what Me Too says. When you advance yourself, hell, if you touch a woman, according to Me Too, you touch a woman who don't want to be touched. That's rape. You use your fingers in a certain way. That's rape. No, we're going to use rape all the way around. If we're going to use it for heterosexual black people, we're going to use that shit all the way around. Bill Cosby is in jail for rape right now. And he didn't rape anybody. Bill Cosby is in jail for raping somebody that he did not have penetrative sex with. Bill Cosby, they said he's in jail for rape, but he didn't even penetrate anybody with his penis. And he's in jail for rape. So we're going to use rape in all connotations if that's what we're going to do. We're going to use Bill Cosby. That's going to be the precedent for what we're going to do. If Bill Cosby raped somebody, well, damn it, all you trannies are raping niggas too. All of you are raping too. That's rape. That's hardcore rape. You dig? You don't try to rape people. That's what it is. And they get off on turning straight dudes out. That's because they were turned out. So that's what they know. They get off on that. They were turned out as children or whatever. So they try to do the same thing to others. That's very predatory. And what Bill did gave this woman, he didn't even give it to her. He offered her half of a prescribed, not even a prescribed drug, an over-the-counter drug. Was it Benadryl? She said she was tired of sleep or whatever. He said, hey, you want to take a Benadryl? Gave her half of it. She took it on her own and then said she got raped and kept calling Bill, and they were hooking up afterwards. And, when she saw a bag coming, she tried to get the bag. You think? But again, what they try to do, they try to blur the lines between man and woman, male and female, and they try to do this in schools, try to say, well, children should be able to go to different bathrooms or the same bathrooms with each other. Girls should be able to be on the same team. Trans, that's why with Black Girls Rock, well, trans should be included in that. So they're going to start doing that in schools. They're going to start saying, okay, this little boy with a wig on, he wants to be on the girl volleyball team. He wants to be in the same locker room with the girls, and he's trans, and he has rights because we just passed a law to protect his trans rights. So he needs to be in there in that locker room with the rest of the girls. And you know how sometimes, especially in urban areas, little girls might get into a fight. Just imagine a little trans boy fighting a girl. You understand? Now, a trans boy, a little boy with a wig, can beat the shit out of a little girl and nothing happens to him. You understand? See, with boys and girls, we know that you don't fight no girl. What the fuck are you doing? If you're a boy, that's a no-no. You don't fight girls. But now you're a little boy with a wig on. You can go beat up all the little girls at your school and you're protected. See where this is going? See, they want to degenerate things. See, it's all over the place. It's nothing positive for black society. There's nothing in this that's a plus for us. It means everything for the dominant society. You dig? Oh, they do it now. They got the boys. Yeah, you put a boy in a wig, and now he's gonna run the track meet. And see, now you're etching out the black woman. You dig? This is by design. You etch out the black woman. See, the sisters definitely don't need to co-sign this. This is why they get these gay black men who have anti-black woman hatred. They're really misogynistic. And the name of the game, they want to replace black women. If you replace the black women and then just put a wig on the dude, okay, they can engage in the same sexual activity. They just won't be able to procreate. And we can use our cyborg technology for our transhumanism. Now that we get these laws in place, now we can get these transhuman laws on the books. We got the transgender law. Now we're going to get the transhuman laws on the books. You dig? This thing is going in some crazy places. This thing is going into some crazy places. Yeah, when you destroy the black woman, you destroy the black community. Real talk. Yeah. I saw, did y'all see the panel? There was a panel on Revolt TV. My man Killer Mike, it was Killer Mike, T.I., Tamika Mallory, and Candace Owens. They all had like a little panel. They were talking. It was very funny. It was very funny. T.I. was going in on Candace Owens. Yeah, Candace Owens started all that mammy buck dancing coon talk. And, she's getting called out for it. And the white supremacists, and she said something very interesting. She started talking, using the more white supremacist talking points. All the single motherhood was the problem. Starting in the 60s, the Democrats created all these single mothers and took the father out of the home, and that was the problem with the black community. See, notice all of these attacks on black women over here, black American women. Black American women. The problem with these single black American women raising these degenerate boys, that's the problem. And it's interesting that they use that narrative because, and I've broken this down before, Candace Owens is an anchor baby. She comes from an anchor baby lineage. People from the Caribbean who came over here and had anchor babies in order to stay and get rights and all that. She comes from that. And I talked about this many times. The single mother thing in the 60s. Always put that in the right context because that started and that popped off really by a lot of immigration. See, a lot of people don't put things in the context of immigration. The white supremacists don't do that. And they are deceptive by design. And I've said this before, starting in the 60s, when we fought to get everybody's immigration rights popping, we got flooded with immigrants from Africa, from immigrants from the Caribbean, and we welcomed them. We welcomed our brothers from the diaspora. We welcomed them. And we were like, we want our family to come, and we're going to join our family. The problem is, we took a lot of the good, but we took a whole hell of a lot of the bad. We took a lot of the bad and absorbed the bad from it. And one of the bad things is a lot of women would come over from different countries, particularly in the Caribbean a lot, in many Caribbean countries, and they would come over here and immediately have anchor babies. A lot of them, and people don't want to put this in the right context, black folks, it was very taboo for black women, American women, to have children out of wedlock, going all the way up into the 60s. That shit didn't just change overnight. All of a sudden, black American women who it was stigmatized for them to have babies out of wedlock. Just started doing it just to be doing it. You understand? Now that happened to there were a lot that did happen, but not in the numbers that they're trying to make it seem. A lot of sisters were in relationships with dudes, and then they went off to Vietnam. You understand? We're talking in the mid to late 60s, so this is Vietnam was popping at the same time. Vietnam was popping at the same time. And a lot of the men left for war. You know, they came back, someone was strung out or whatever, but we ignore the fact that a lot of the immigrant women came over and started having these anchor babies left and right and taking advantage of some of these programs. You dig? So, yeah, look at the movie Dead Presidents. They really break that down to a certain degree. You dig? What did T.I. say about reparations? I didn't hear him talk about reparations. And but like I said, man, this LBGT trans agenda that they're promoting and they're pushing and they're pushing and they're pushing, it's not about justice or anything like that. They have a transhuman agenda that they're trying to funnel in with this. And a lot of these people have very nefarious backgrounds. This is why the white LGBT community, they do everything they can to ignore Ed Buck. And anytime they come around, I always bring up Ed Buck. All that energy talking about black folks this, black community that, I don't respect none of it because Ed Buck is still walking around untouched and niggas are still going up to his house. And that's another person whose background we need to really look at. When we look at Ed Buck, remember, Ed Buck was doing all types of drug experiments on dudes at his house. Ed Buck was doing drug experiments on, that's why these dudes are dying at his house. He's doing these drug experiments on these dudes over at his spot. People have said Ed Buck is into all types of stuff. So who else is Ed Buck working with? How is Ed Buck so damn connected where he's just two dead bodies out your house and nobody can touch you? And remember when I was talking about Laurel Canyon and that whole movement in the 60s where you had all of these entertainers living up there in the Laurel Canyon area? The Manson people were connected with them. You had a military base up there, a secret military base. Remember I was breaking that down about Laurel Canyon? How for years there's always been some type of nefarious things in this small part of town. Laurel Canyon goes from Hollywood to the Valley. In that area, there's always some real strange murders, strange deaths coming from that area. I mean, going all the way back to the 30s, there's always strange murders and deaths from that Laurel Canyon area. A lot of them in the 60s. That's where the hippie movement was birthed, from the Laurel Canyon area. Ed Buck stays on Laurel Avenue. He stays right at the mouth of Laurel Canyon. All of that is not a coincidence. Ed Buck stays on Laurel Avenue, which is at the mouth of Laurel Canyon. You understand? Laurel Canyon and the drug scene, that MK Ultra, that's been a thing for a long time. That's been a thing for a long time. Look, back in the 60s, and that's another thing. A lot of these dudes, they were, and I broke this down before, a lot of these singers and entertainers like The Doors and Crosby, Stills and Nash and Frank Zappa, all of these people were huge in the 60s. All of them were connected to some type of military intelligence, CIA intelligence. what's his name, from The Doors. Jim Morrison from The Doors. He wrote, he's supposed to be anti-Vietnam, but his dad was one of the people who helped orchestrate the Vietnam War. You understand? So that whole Laurel Canyon thing is very deep. And notice all of these dudes were all this anti-war, but none of them got drafted. How come none of them dudes got drafted? They were of war age. These were young dudes. But none of them ever got drafted. Neil Young and all these dudes. Neil Young, he was a part of that whole clique. None of them got drafted. All these anti-war dudes. Now, people like Muhammad Ali, they would get drafted. That was that whole thing with Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix was clicked in with them. But none of them got drafted to the war. And let me tell you something interesting. That whole Laurel Canyon scene, one of the guys, Neil Young, he became a part of that scene. He was in a group called the Minor Birds. They were out there in Toronto. They got like a few record deals. They had a black lead singer with the Minor Birds. So they were trying to get their career off the ground. The black lead singer, his ass got drafted and he was ducking the draft. So he was going in and out of jail for ducking the military. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix got drafted. Yeah, the black ones got drafted. So this black singer from the Minor Birds, he was going in and out of jail for getting drafted or trying to evade draft. So Neil Young and all these dudes from the Minor Birds, they went out there to Laurel Canyon. And the lead singer, this black guy, he went out to Laurel Canyon when he got out of jail. That brother was Rick James. That was Rick James. Rick James was living out there in Laurel Canyon with one of the guys from Crosby, Still, and Nash. Buffalo Springfield, exactly. All of those were the same groups. Yes, that was Rick James. Yes, I'm talking about Rick James. But check this out. This is something that y'all didn't know. Rick James was up there living off Laurel Canyon. He's kicking it with Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison tricked Rick James into taking acid. That's how Rick James got on those heavy drugs, because of Jim Morrison. Remember, Jim Morrison's dad is all clicked in with military intelligence. Jim Morrison offered Rick James a breath mint. And Rick James was like, yeah, I'll take it. So Rick James took this breath mint and then he started tripping the fuck out. And Jim Morrison was like, yeah, have a happy trip. So Jim Morrison finessed Rick James into taking acid. And that a lot of these designer drugs were coming from that Laurel Canyon. Look up what I just said. Yeah, he was a rock singer at first, but he was hanging with those dudes. You know, all these guys evaded draft, but Rick James didn't. They was getting Rick James. See, it shows you who these folks were about. Yeah, they got Rick James on that acid. Yeah? Yeah, don't trust them. I don't trust, when folks offer me stuff, yeah, I don't trust it. Yeah, they slipped him something. Yeah, but look that up. Look that up. Laurel Canyon, there was all types of stuff going on up there. And still is right now with Ed Buck, who lives right at the mouth of Laurel Canyon. That place, remember they had the Wonderland murders up there. In 1981, there was the 4 on the floor murders, a big infamous murder up there where 4 people got killed, and that porn dude, John Holmes, was connected with it. It was a drug deal. It was a crazy, look up the Wonderland murders. The movie Boogie Nights is based on the Wonderland murders up there in Laurel Canyon. Damn. Yeah? Yeah, it's heavy stuff, man. Real heavy stuff. But yeah, we got to know how deep these folks are and the stuff that they're into. I don't, to this day, that's why I don't drink. I remember I go to meetings and the white execs would always try to get me to drink shit. That's the thing. They always try to get you to drink shit. Yeah, man, Laurel Canyon got a real weird energy up there. Yeah, John Holmes, who died of AIDS, by the way. John Holmes, who died of AIDS. He was a drug addict, and he was out there slinging bussy. Yeah. That was another thing. All those pedophile rings connected with Laurel Canyon, and oh, it's crazy. Yeah, yep, Jim Morrison. All those dudes, all those singers from the 60s who was connected with the Laurel Canyon scene, all of them were connected with some kind of CIA. And also, they had something called the Young Turks up there. That was Jack Nicholson, Peter Fonda, a few other people. All right? Remember, Peter Fonda's sister was Jane Fonda. They were all connected with that Laurel Canyon scene. Jane Fonda. Remember what I told y'all about the hippie scene? All of that stuff was created by military intelligence. That was used to really undermine a lot of the energy of the Black Panthers. That's why they sent them up there in the Bay. A lot of that was to undermine their energy. Remember, Jane Fonda was really clicked in with the Black Panthers. Dennis Hopper, thank you. Yeah, they had that movie. What was that movie? That very famous movie with Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper. What the fuck was that movie? Easy Rider, was it? Yeah, Easy Rider. Very famous movie. But Jane Fonda, Peter Fonda's sister, was clicked in with the Black Panthers heavy. She was real heavy clicked in with them. Yeah? Yes, Easy Rider. But heavy stuff, man. Heavy stuff. But anyway, man, let me get up out of here, man. I've been on here chopping up game with the family. We've had a great discussion tonight, but I want y'all to look up all the stuff that we talked about on tonight's show. It is. And a lot of stuff to think about. But again, looking at how deep the rabbit hole goes, I want y'all to go back and listen to everything, and I want you to really research everything, because the rabbit hole goes much deeper, but I want you to research, because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to soak in tonight. So y'all going to have to listen to this broadcast about 2 or 3 times, but we got to know stuff. We got to be in the know. We got to know who the hell these people are. They're deliberately trying to confuse us. When somebody's deliberately trying to confuse me, I want to see what your real damn agenda is. All right? I want to make a point to know what your real agenda is. So we need to know, when we see these niggas out here with bussy splaining, we need to know who's funding them and what the ultimate goal is and what we need to do to be on code. All right? I'm out of here, man. Y'all have a great week, man. Much love. Go to hiddencolorsfilm.com. Get the film now. Holla.